Hello, it's me, Queen Sensitivity, and I'm about to do energy update because I feel that it's time to do one. I haven't done one like this in a while, so that's cool because it's usually when I do these. As of late, it's spur of the moment and it's in my car because I'm usually out and about. But I don't know. Today I woke up and there was just like this irritation getting on my damn nerves. This irritation. I had a sinus headache, and so I did the little, the drainage where you like massage behind your ears and different points and stuff, and that worked a bit, but like it continues. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and get a tea from a coffee place. And so I did that, and then like the line was like taking forever, and I was gonna sit in the parking lot and read because they don't have like a inside place, and people were cutting the grass like with lawnmowers and leaf blowers, so it was super loud. So I had to go park somewhere else, and then I parked somewhere else. Like somebody parked right beside me and like stayed in the car the whole time. It was just like step after step of annoyance, and like the whole time, I don't know, or like towards the end, I just sat and like just reminded myself, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that I have a car, that I'm healthy, I'm not in pain, that nobody I know is, in physical pain, and, just a different list of things. But I feel like, you can't always be, it's good to be grateful and it's good to be positive, but sometimes, or maybe all the time, you need to also pay attention to the things that are irritating you because they're put there in order to alert you to something. So after I was being grateful, I was driving down the road and I saw all the cars getting out of one lane. So I saw why and I got out of the lane. The reason why was because some sort of maintenance truck was parked in the road next to like this apartment complex, and I was so confused. I'm like, why would you park in the road when there's a parking lot right there to the right? It's like you're asking for attention. And then I turned into my neighborhood and there was a truck in front of me and it said progress in green letters on the truck. So I knew then, if I didn't know from all these signs consecutively occurring, I knew then that this was some sort of message from spirit that progress is happening in my life, in the field. I don't know. I feel like I should lift this book up. This is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. This is book 1. I actually never finished this book because it's long as hell. Look at the font. I don't like small font. I don't like it. And it's long. This is a long ass book. And it's like, I think one of the reasons why is because like I saw the series first, like I saw season 1 first. This book is like season 1 through 3. Like it's like, I'm like, how is book 1 season, like how is it this long? I'm like, if it's like 4 books, I don't know how many 4, it's 3 books in a series. I'm like, that's going to translate to like 20 seasons because there's so much stuff happening. I think I'm going to read this since I was called. It says, so I always, I always write stuff in my books when I own them. I wrote, people always find it so much easier to joke around with boys. So much easier to play punch and criticize about their choice in girls. So much easier to bring up the conversation of sex. It's likely they drew a foul. It's like they drew a foul in basketball or something. It may be a little shocking, but it'll be brushed off within a matter of days in a strict house. If you're a girl, it stains for years. And in a strict family, a lifetime. I've got tears that haven't fallen because of this. Tears the size of Niagara Falls. So, for some reason, I wrote this very jaded comment. And in this is a ticket receipt to, some sort of a basketball game. And it says, stop killing yourself on the thing. So, these things combined are you know, brought into the conversation of like there's some sort of progress occurring that spirit really wanted me to pay attention to. Like I need to be alert today, and that's why the irritation. I feel like it has to do with some sort of opportunity to change the course of something. I don't know, think of like a bowling ball going down the little bowling ball lane, and like you keep being alerted so you can like change it to go straight or change it to not go straight, to go in the gutter. But I feel like this is a message for the collective, because I did feel like the need to say it on here, and for it to not be live, because what happened oftentimes when I go live, it'll be like 1 or 2 people on there, and I love their comments, but they sometimes take me off track, or they add something to the conversation, and it doesn't need to be any like outside. So I feel like that's also a message of like, if you feel something, if you feel this, you don't need to get it confirmed by anybody else. You don't need it to appear on the news, you know, for somebody else telling you this. If you feel the need to take some sort of divinely inspired action or divinely inspired inaction, do so without hesitation. So I don't know, the Niagara Falls thing, and then like the girls versus the boys, I feel like I'm gonna shuffle on this one, because I feel like that's something deeper. Just heard Junie B. Jones. I don't know. It's a lot of messages that I've already said, and all of them can be more deeply dived into. Like, I found one already. Ooh, indecision, patience. Okay. I'll take these 2. Wish you could see, but the way I have the camera today, I'm like, I don't feel like trying to make it perfect. So we have indecision that came out. We have victory. We have the goddess of the moon and rest and rejuvenation. This is strange because all these cards came out in a reading I did for myself a couple of days ago, which means I probably didn't shuffle it well enough, but they were in the middle of the deck. They just fell out again. So I think they're still important. So I was very curious that I was very intrigued that the moon came out with the victory card, because it almost looks like the sun and the moon. So there again is that, I heard negative, positive, masculine, feminine sort of energy, that conflict, and then we have this rejuvenation. So there's some sort of dichotomy, some sort of polarity that I feel is, there's an opportunity right now as you are watching this energy update to choose a path, even if it's not either one of the ones presented before you, because deciding to not make a choice is also a choice. That's a third option. With one of my clients, I remember they were asking about like to choose between, I feel like this is important, and I'm not saying, you know, who the client is because I want to be confidential, but they were asking about 2 different men, like which one is the best option. And I remember what I got from spirit to answer this question was to step back and to choose neither of them, because there was more in life. A lot of times I feel like because of this kind of polarity society we live in, societies, whatever, this world of like a very putting people in boxes, as categories and stuff, it'll like trick you into thinking that you can there's only so many options, but there's more. You can also like choose not to do it. I have another example that I'm getting right now. I watched the movie Ready Player One. It's such a good movie. And at the end, or towards the end, when he like completed the game, there was this contract he was presented with to sign. And like I said, to anybody that's normal, who's been like going with the flow of society, that's how life works. In order to inherit a company, you have to sign contracts, you have to sign papers. But he didn't do it because he was like the creator of this game. That's where he fell short when he was making this decision. When he was making this game, the whole point was that he has signed a bad contract that deviated from his original intention of the game. And so the player one, the main character, he realized this. He was like, the creator would never want me to sign a contract because he hated contracts. So he didn't sign it. And then the other option appeared, option 3 or option 2 after that. So I feel like that's the main message from Spirit, is like, don't sign a contract. Don't choose between the two people. Don't choose between the two jobs or whatever sort of, options. Because if you know in your gut that you deserve better than both of them combined, then stand on that and don't lower your expectations. And I'm hearing that this is even with people like me who are creators, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. There's no doubt in my mind that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And that I can make a living off of what I'm doing. And then like life gets to you and like stuff has to be paid, and so you have to, like, you're forced to deviate to get some sort of 5 to 9 job just to pay the bills and make ends meet. I feel like Spirit is saying for people who resonate with that is that there is a third option that is available to you that I feel like you won't fully see. You'll know it's there. You have a knowing that it exists, but you won't fully see it until you decide not to choose either of these options. Because I feel like with these 2 cards, I feel like the victory card is representing the easy way out. I've said this several times to people in my life who, like, try to convince me different things. I'm like, anybody can go out and get a regular job. Any able-bodied person can go out and spend their days being a zombie doing, some sort of hands-on job. I don't mean to different, all the jobs are important, but you know what I mean? Like, anybody can do that. Anybody can go and take the easy way out and be a zombie and do something they hate, but like just continue to suffocate who they are for the sake of appeasing society. Like, the doing the right thing. A lot of people have pressure from their families to become lawyers and doctors, teachers, firemen, police officer, like those type of jobs, working in HR, becoming a nurse, like those things, the good ones. And I'm like, anybody can do that, and anybody has, but I know for me that I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be about bringing change to the world, because people who are doing these things are suffering, and it is not okay, and they do not know that there is more to life. A lot of people are waking up to that. So there's that option 1, and then there's this like option 2 of like, I don't know. I know, but like, let me get clarity. Please clarify this one, so I know how to speak on it best. Oh, that one. Without a doubt. 11, justice, surprise, kept score, equality. So I feel like this one, with this moon, guys, and moon, it's this feeling of this is the right, true path. I don't know. I feel like there's also something missing. I feel like even with following your heart, you know, and doing what you like to do, I don't know, I just feel like there's this sort of trap as well with this way. I think I'll describe it with the movie Soul, the Pixar movie, where it's like this person, he knows, what's his name? I forget. The main character anyways. He's like, I know that I'm supposed to be a jazz musician. Like, I love that. Ever since I was a little boy, that's what I was supposed to do. And so he's so like dead set on there that he wants to do this. And it's just like every time he doesn't get it. And then finally when he got the gig of his dreams, he died. And he went to the before, and the whole time he's trying to help this soul like find their soul purpose. And the beings up there keep looking at him curiously like, what are you talking about? Like, your soul purpose? That's not what a spark is. A spark is just something, you know, it's just like a lust for life. It's not something to live by in such a strict manner. And so this is something that I've experienced as I've delved into tarot cards and oracle cards, is that I am not capable of being one of those readers who post 2 readings a week, and they're fun and they're like colorful and they're like very neat, and they have these cards are going to be like this and this card is going to be like this, and like it becomes like this play within the system. I feel like, in my opinion, spirituality is everything, and it's this consciousness movement. It's this consciousness awakening that is meant to burn the previous systems to the fucking ground. That's what it's supposed to be. And I feel like what's kind of happened as people have awakened and spirituality has become popular, I don't know, for the first time or again, whatever, the opposition, so to speak, you know, I use quotations, has like encouraged people who have taken this avenue of spirituality, see my throat chakra, to once again be curved back into kind of corporate society. And I keep on hearing this YouTuber, so I'm going to use her for an example. I want to say beforehand that I think she's amazing, and I've listened to many of her readings and they've helped me a lot. But for example, I keep hearing to say this name, Kino Tarot. It's like, it's very like trendy. Like her whole thing is very trendy, and it's still within the confines of the Matrix. Does that make sense? And so that's what I mean by like this option. It's like following your passion. It could be being a jazz musician. It could be being a tarot reader. It could be being a cupcake master. But like you live that. Like that's your thing. And it gets morphed back into being within the confines of captives. I know that what I'm saying is very deep. I just hope, excuse me, that it's resonating and my point is getting across. So going back to the movie Soul, it's like the whole point, it's not about moving within any kind of guardrail. That's that bowler reference coming back again, like bowling, those straight and arrow lines. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a creatrix instead of the Matrix, a creatrix where everybody has an agreed upon moral code, but ultimately you are fully free from any sort of constraints. And so it's like, now these 2 options that you thought were your only options do the, the corporate job or follow my passions. But and I've had like a friendship like fall out, I feel, from in my perspective, over this. Or I think several friendships, people, they wanted to play it safe, and I find that impossible to do. Even when I try to, I cannot. I have very strong higher self. I have very strong spirit guides where they will like put an end to it. It's not allowed it to happen, especially not for long in my life. And that's how I know that I'm, like what I was saying earlier, like I know I'm meant to do this. It's not just I post a pick a card, or I post pick a cards on Instagram, or I don't have TikTok, but like for example TikTok, and like you make a ploy off of this. It's not about that. It's not either of these options. It's a third option to choose neither, saying you are not gonna you're not gonna confine me. You're not gonna imprison me within anything, even things that I love. And so I also feel like this could go into like a divine counterpart relationships, or any kind of romantic relationship, or even familiar or platonic relationships. It's like you can love people. You can love people unconditionally all you want. And I saw a post, I think Ramona shared somebody else's post, I forget the original post, but I'm sure everybody said this, but like unconditional love is not the same thing as unconditional tolerance. It's like just because I love you, or I love this thing that I do, doesn't mean that that's going to be all that I do. And I feel like right now, as you're watching this, with that sign on that truck of progress, Spirit is saying now there is option 3 available, where you completely blow past any of the lines, boxes, compartmentalizations, sections, and choose option 3. Like I said, it's to end the whole thing. I'm hearing it's a trap. It is a trap. Do not fall for it, because by choosing to confine yourself in either of these choices, and any choice, is to deny some part of yourself that it wants the complete opposite of that. Do you ever find yourself in these like situations? Like for example, me, I really like quiet. I like silence. I like very soft sounds. But I also will go to a Beyonce concert, a Miley Cyrus concert, with it being so loud, and have the best time. You're not ever just one thing, ever. You're constantly expanding and growing and coming back and adjusting and then going forward again and then going backward and going sideways. To choose any one option is to deny some part of yourself. And that is bullshit. And we cannot stand for it anymore. And I'm hearing that, I don't know, some people will not see this or hear this for the important voicing that it is. This is very serious. This is very serious, as well as if you choose option 3, it won't be serious anymore. You can play, because having to choose and live life like this is being serious. This is being very straight and arrow lane sort of thing. That's the seriousness. Choosing not to do it at all and I'm gonna be free, that's actually being more silly. But you know, this is very, I feel like it's the difference between life and death. And obviously, like I've said many times, we can't die. Our souls are eternal. But if we believe that we can die, we believe that we can suffer, we believe in fear, we believe in pain, then it becomes our reality. Which again, that's what I was saying. Spirituality is about a consciousness shift. consciousness shift, a consciousness evolution, a consciousness awakening of a collective one entity. I'm seeing a lot of things in my mind, and I'm not really talking right now. This is source channeling through me. I see like a huge light, and it's one light, but it's like, it's several souls. I'm seeing in my mind, like, you know, our consciousness, right? Like, just picture like all your thoughts to be above your head, right? And it makes this cloud of thoughts, and it spreads, intertwines with other people's clouds of thoughts. So when you view it from far away, it's just one giant cloud of thought. That's one source. And it feels like Spirit is it's encouraging you, asking you, and also saying that this is how it is, or how it will be. A foreshadowing of like, I am ready. The collective consciousness is saying, I am ready to be free. So you must stop trying to condone me, tolerate me, and put me in sections. It's like the minute you choose one side of me, the minute you choose one kid to be your favorite child, the other one you're pushing away. And that cannot happen, because both of them are you. It's very deep, and I've gotten a little emotional. But I feel like that's one of the messages I was getting from this book, of like, it's not just season 1 that's in this book, it's several seasons. Like, I was reading this book, I think that's what happened. Like, I was reading it, and it was telling me, foreshadowing, like it was telling me what was gonna happen in season 2 in book 1. There's more to you. And that's been one of the most beautiful things that I've been able to discover about myself on this journey, where like, I'm not one thing. I love all these things, and I should never be forced or coerced or shamed or guilt tripped into just doing one of them in order to make money, to please somebody else, or to get necessities for myself. I should be able to, if I feel called, if I feel like it, go sit in a field of daisies and talk to bees for 20 years, if that's what I feel called to do. Do you feel me? We're gonna get some Rumi Oracle cards. I keep wanting to cry. Maybe today is a good day to like physically cry, to physically purge out this energy, because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, because I knew that if I kept going about my day, it would just keep coming up. What does collective need to know? Hopefully this video, my frequency, because it's very potent right now, as I'm sending it out to you, will help you be able to cleanse this. I keep seeing this feather on the ground over there. Where did I get that from? It was in something. It came with a box. And I put it over there so that Kitty could play with it. But I don't know. The feather, they just float around. And I feel like we've been convinced that if we let go and we don't try to cling to something that we know, that we will become lost. Hallelujah. Okay, I'm about to tap into some. But listen here, the feather is never lost. I have a feeling that feather is exactly where it was wanted to be. That feather is exactly where it wanted to be. Like, it always wanted to end up somehow, wherever it came from, is a synthetic, to be in my room near these journals. But I feel like we've been taught so much to fear. If you let go, the universe won't carry you to where you're meant to be. If you stop holding on and putting yourself in so much pain and struggle, then you'll end up somewhere undesirable. It's this feeling of like people, I've had this where I'm like, I don't want to be just like under the control of, God, or God telling me what to do. I feel like that's how a lot of people view it. Like, they don't want to like leave their life up to spirit, to God, to just do whatever with. They want to be in control. But I feel like it's like the feather is free and also in control, because that's, the heart will guide you, which is source. The thing that clings to the foundation, so to speak, is actually the one being controlled. You're not actually free. The feather is free and in control, and you're being controlled and not free. And that is, I'm hearing a paradigm shift. DIGM, is that how you spell it? I feel like that part of the word is essential. DIGM. Like, what does that mean? Is it a suffix? Okay. We have the two cards. We have lions and the lion and the deer. And this card keep coming out. I keep trying to like get away from it. And it keep coming out. The lover and the beloved. So this card, I feel like the reason I always try to kick it out is because I have like still wounds around romantic connections. I have like abandonment wounds. And so I always try to like push it away so I can be independent, so I won't get hurt by another party being close and intimate with somebody. And when I read this card every time, it doesn't ever talk about like another person. That's another card in the deck that talks about like a twin flame or something. This card is actually talking about spirit, about source. And I'm hearing now, I can be anyone. I can be in anyone. And I'm hearing that like, yeah, I can be in anybody. Spirit can show up, those movies where like people like talk to angels, or I've heard people like, they've gotten messages from angels or angelic beings through people in their lives that get channeled through them. And so I'm hearing spirits say, I can be in anyone. And so when people offer you help or try to be close to you in a genuine way and you push them away, or even, something as simple as a beautiful day, but you stay inside or something like that, it's like that's the same as you pushing spirit away. And spirit is saying, I need you more than ever to open yourself up to become intimate with me so that we can integrate and merge and become one. I'm hearing them say, I want you. I want all of you. I want you to be a part of me. There is something within myself, and I think something within almost all of us, if not all of us, that kind of wants part of ourselves to be kicked out. The idea of like when you go to heaven, like your good self, like you'd want your good self to meet God. You wouldn't want the parts of yourself that are bitter and jealous, envious, mean, sick, like being joyful and other people receiving like bad karma or some shit. Like, that part of us, we don't want that part of us to come with us to the pearly whites. But spirit is saying now very clearly, I want you. I want all of you. It's the Noah and Allie. I want you, all of you, you and me, forever. Like, I want it. This is what Spirit is saying. It's very interesting whenever I tap into this side of Spirit, because I feel like for a long time in my mind, still, I always think of Spirit this one way. But this being, this consciousness, is actually non-judgmental and very curious and very, very, hear the tapping, loving. It's like I want to know you. I want to know all those parts of you that you've kept hidden. I don't plan to judge them. I want them. I want to love them. And that's the message of this card. Give yourself to me. I won't judge you. I won't kick you out. I won't abandon you. I won't reject you. I will integrate you. I will become you. And I will love myself. Okay? 22. I have this card, the Lion and the Deer. I saw a deer yesterday. They'd been hit by a car. And now I just carry the lion with me. I am the lion. With this 22, how am I supposed to share this message? Because I had one in my mind, but now it's like shifting. Okay. I'm hearing that people, it's the same thing with like compartmentalization. People view the deer as like being this very innocent, doe-eyed kind of creature. And they view the lion as being this fierce, claws and teeth, massive kind of being. But I'm hearing spirits say that they are actually the same. They're the same one creature that we have perceived in dichotomy, perceived in polarity, and therefore they exist as two separate creatures. But they are one. The deer, like the lion, is willing to put an end to something. The way the lion, kills its prey. The deer is willing to protect its pride, as well as the lion is innocent and as naive as the deer enough to run in front of the shiny headlights. And this is the same thing where Spirit is coming around to, I do not judge, because I am you. I am both. And I feel like we're not meant to hold on to the pain of our mistakes. I'm hearing this whole thing has been, you hear a lot of people say an experiment. It's an experience. It was never meant to be suppressed and hidden and clutched onto. You know, a lot of people, they really safegate their pain. They don't want anybody to touch it. I'm one of these people. It was never meant to be that way. It was meant to be experienced and released. And not to make all these assumptions and stories around it. You were never meant to be imprisoned, is what I'm getting. It was never meant to be a prison. I feel like the people who know will know what I'm talking about. Because it was never meant to be a prison. It was never meant to be slavery. It was meant to be an experience, to experience itself, and to be aware that it was experiencing, this was a simulation. You know what I mean? And then something shifted, and it became where people forgot that this was a simulation. This was an experiment. It's like in the movie Ready Player One, they trick this really rich man who owns this big company. Like, they put him in a simulation that looks like reality. And so when he takes off his goggles, he's not taking off his goggles, his virtual reality goggles. He's taking off the video game goggles. So in real life, he still has them on. And he thinks that he's being held at gunpoint and that he can die, but he cannot because he's still in the game. And so that's what's happened. It was not supposed to be a game on top of a game. And that's where we have that difference in the Creatrix versus the Matrix. They're both simulations. It's both a projection, but one is like a projection within a projection within a projection. And the other one is everybody is conscious that what is happening is a simulation. Or like, I feel like a simulation isn't right, because then there's still like this cyclic sort of tone to it. They are aware that this is a projection of their consciousness. There was a hijacking of the consciousness. And that's why Spirit is saying right now, there's not any fear surrounding this. This is something that's over. Spirit is saying right now, today, or right now, is the option 3 to stop choosing either of these things, to make option 3 a reality by choosing not to play at all and instead choose to live. There's a silliness that is desired. I've said a lot. Is there anything else that you would like me to say? I heard yes. What is it? Let me go read a little bit of 22. You are the lion and the deer. You are bold, fierce, and vibrant, and you are silent, sweet, and gentle. If I should come to you in arrogance, you roar at me until my falsehood quakes in fear. So terrifying it gives up the game, and love's conquest happens yet again. If I should come to you in surrendered adoration, open to whatever you may wish, you are so gentle with me, like a deer. You offer me nothing to fear or resist, so that I too become sweet and gentle, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then I do not fear my own errors, for even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. But if I become weak, I shall draw succor, evoking the tenderness in you. Whatever is needed to keep me true to love is what you give me. For For you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and the sweet deer, gentle as the mildest breezes of spring. So what I'm getting from that, like I was saying earlier, is don't deny your lion. Don't deny that part of you that when somebody snaps at you or somebody tries you, that wants to roar back, because there is divine rage. There is a such thing as divine rage. It's right now. It's very like I have more to say, but I don't want to be any of these boxes of these decks I have here would be able to get the point across as thoroughly as Jabria, which is me. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, can you show me some sort of guidance or indication through these cards then that you would like me to know? These two. We have Star Mother Acaris and we have Layla. These two look very ethereal. There is more waiting for you. What I'm hearing. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled ever again into thinking that there is not more waiting for you. There is so much more. I'm seeing Lovecraft Country, which I don't think that show got canceled. You know, they were tapping into some deep shit. So there was this character on there. She's this everyday black woman, I think in Chicago, back in the day. So, you know, racism and then sexism and then colorism, you know, fat phobia, all these things. And she gets, I think, abducted by like this space mother. And she lives all these different lifetimes and she can remember them. That's the thing. This is what I was saying earlier. It's like you were supposed to know what was happening. It's your divine right to know and have 47 on the clock to know. She remembered them. She was able to have these superpowers and these skills that she'd acquired over these different lifetimes, which is just different experiences. And she was all of them in one, all of her different selves. She remembered them. So when she came back to this timeline on Earth, she was so powerful. She had seen all these things that looked like this, very spacey, very astral, you know. And she, like, nobody couldn't tell her shit. Like, she loved her family, she loved her daughter, she loved her husband deeply. But she also understood that, like, she couldn't lose them ultimately because they existed somewhere else, which means that they are infinite and they cannot be destroyed. So there was no need to be in this frenzy of fear, although she is compassionate. Does that make sense? She's compassionate if something does happen to them, if they get hurt, if they get shot, if they get wounded. She feels that pain, but it's not this fear, you know what I mean, that we have here, where people kind of like have breakdowns and like just go into these pits of spiraling despair. It's the same message again. It's that you were always meant to know. And I'm hearing Spirit is saying, I'm reminding you here now that you have access to this to know now. You have access to all of your experiences. You have access to all of your superpowers. Access them now. Yes, I've talked about the injustice of it, but that's only so that you can see Because injustice is also a part of the story. We can't continue to leave it out. But it also, we don't need to put it, to give it all this power either. You know, speaking about it takes away its power. Like, you know, he who shall not be named. You keep giving your power away to he who shall not be named. Say his name. Voldemort. King of Death. Say the name. It's not so powerful anymore. And now we can move on. Now I remind you. Whoa. Whoa. Loud like bell in my ear. Went from here to there. Now I remind you that this is the story. And so therefore this is true. You have access. I feel like access isn't even a good enough word. You are all of yourselves. You are them now. You are them now. Let this settle in. You are them now. This is a game. Have compassion. Do not have fear. Take back your power by speaking on what you know to be true. Speaking on injustice, calling out the injustice is not the same thing as empowering the justice by disempowering yourself. It's not the same thing. Somebody can rob your house and you can say, I see you. Put my shit down. That's not the same thing as screaming, which is allowed. But you know what I mean? Is that the same thing as becoming afraid of the person robbing your house? It's two different things. You have access now. Take back your power by reclaiming all of you. Have access to all of you. And this is kind of what I was talking about. Like this, it's a face, but if you zoom back, it looks like just this cloud of just light. That's what I was saying earlier. And if you zoom in even more, it's these little specks. Individuals. But it's one big consciousness. And right now Spirit is saying like, let me in. I'm just kidding, but like, I don't know, Spirit is silly. Okay, I think I'll get one more card and then we'll leave it at that. Make sure to like, share, subscribe if you resonate with this. If you don't, it's fine. If you don't resonate, you probably already stopped watching. So, you know, support me any way you feel called to. If you resonate with this message. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Oh, this one. Get one more, please. Yeah, judgment. And a pickle, arrogance, not good enough. Don't believe this anymore. False allegiance, Jezebel, lies, deception. Yeah, don't believe the deceit. Don't believe the deceit anymore. 25, this is number 20 and 5. I was seeing this number earlier today. I messaged a friend about it, and it's crazy how it's here again. Don't believe it. Those thoughts that say you can't, you aren't. Even those thoughts that say you aren't there yet, to get rid of the there. You are it now. You are it now. Right now, you are it. You don't need to, because I feel like even that is like a separation from yourself. We have the other devil, destined ending, don't force. And then we have the Hierophant, lost, clarity, seeking, sanctuary, and a healer. Right now is a pivotal moment. Right now is all the time. Right now is stepping outside of time and seeing it all. Right now, this is available to you. Right now, you have access to this. Right now, you have nothing to fear. Right now, go into what has been knocking. Let Source in. Because Source just wants to love and have sleepovers. It makes s'mores. It's so funny because it's like Spirit really isn't like this seriousness. But it's like, in order to get you out of this seriousness, they have to be serious. Like this is a serious thing. It's a serious matter for you to get out of it. You get out of it, then you can have fun. You know what I mean? Like then you can enjoy. And that's what's in store, is a lot of silliness. Not taking stuff so seriously. It's, you know what I mean? Like it's not that serious. But it is serious when you are disconnected from that part of yourself that is lighthearted, that is the feather. I feel like I can go on and on. It's really intense, but this did help me significantly. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon.